Alright, so this is my carrier bearing cross member that I sourced out of a junkyard yesterday. Probably going to just use a top half and cut the cross member part off of it. Limited resources in the junkyard makes it more difficult to cut that cleanly, so we just chopped it, and we'll take care of that once we have better power tools at home. So I did some rough measurements underneath the cross member where on the frame where the cross member is going to go, and I had came up with about 44 inches in total length I needed, and I'm right at 90 inches, so I'm going to do two of those, two passes, if you will, or two bars parallel. But yeah, this is the leftover of my steering rack addition that I had earlier. So I bought a 10-foot piece, and I cut, whatever, about 3 feet of it off, and then that's what's left over, and it's literally the exact amount that I need. So couldn't have asked for a cooler use for that to keep this project moving. So we'll do some fab work under there, do some measurements, do some drilling, cutting, and see how it goes. Alright, so here's what we came up with. Got 2 angle irons here and here that are running parallel to each other. Bolt to the frame. This is my modified carrier bearing bracket that will now bolt to my angle iron. Got everything just kind of sitting in here mocked up. And then here's where my bolts come through. Got one there, and then the other one's back in there. And then same thing over here. Got 2 bolts coming through. So my last step under here, I can spin around. My last step under here is going to be there we go. Okay. My last step is going to be measuring the distance between the carrier bearing and the transmission yoke up there, and once I get that length finalized, then I can get my drive shaft modified, and this thing will be ready to rock. So we're getting close. I'm going to call it a night now, but I'm going to button all this up in the morning and then put my drive shaft back in here and see where everything's sitting and take some measurements, and be ready to send the drive shaft out early next week. So there we are. Oh, it really is that hot out here. So here we are, 100 degrees. That's inside the garage, in the shade, with fans running, and it's currently 6:51. It's crazy, it's still hot. Okay, welcome back, YouTube. I've got some good news. Sorry, this is really close. I got my drive shaft back. So here's my drive shaft. Got my carrier bearing bracket finished up. My new cross member up here. So this is my new cross member. It's 2 pieces of angle iron bolted to the frame. Had some clearance issues between the top of the cab or the bottom of the cab and the frame, so I had to notch it in a couple places. This is my bracket that I recovered off of a truck in the junkyard, and then I modified it. And then this is my gas tank protector shield, or whatever you want to call it. So, see here, it's kind of like a skid plate, but it's a big heavy metal plate that, in case the drive shaft decides to break on me, it won't punch a hole in the gas tank. So there's the drive line. Here's the rear end. Still going to be redoing some suspension work back here. I'll bring the ride height up a little bit to level the front out that came up a little bit. And I'll be setting my pinion angle again, redoing shocks and some other fun stuff. But anyways, so that's the big news. Drive shaft's here. Drive shaft's done. Carrier bearing's done. Cross member's done. So that's my right there's my cross member bracket, or a cross member carrier bearing, cross member bolted to the frame using existing holes in the frame. So you get a kind of a idea what we got going on under here.